What's up, you guys, and welcome to the second episode of Friday Talks. Comment down below what is your favorite tea. I'm drinking a tea that is called cacao chai right now. It's so delicious. And yeah, comment down below the favorite taste of your tea. And now let's start with the topic of today's video. And I've been thinking a lot about different topics these last couple of weeks, but what has really taken the space of my mind the last couple of days is religion. And today I want to talk about my thoughts, my views on religion, and why I think we should actually, we need more religion in our lives, and not necessarily because of the thought of it, not necessarily because we need to believe in Jesus or we need to believe in God, but I think that what religion stands for fundamentally, that we have lost this in our lives and we kind of need it back, alright? And so I'm gonna talk about my thoughts here. And so the first thing I want to point out when it comes to religion is that I think that, as I said before, it's not necessarily about believing in God or believing in Jesus or like following the Bible, because I think in that sense religion is a little bit too strict, okay? I think that when the people in the Middle Ages, okay, when they still thought about God is this like this person that sits up in the sky, and if they're not doing the things that the Bible tells them to do, he will throw down thunderbolts and stuff, right? I think that this kind of took away from what religion really is and what religion really should be. I think that you shouldn't be scared of religion. You shouldn't follow a religion because you're scared that you will end up in hell and that you're a bad person. You should follow a religion because you really believe in it, because you really have faith in it, and think that we kind of lost that. And at this point I want to kind of give you my thoughts on God, because I used to believe in religion, okay? I used to believe in God and in Christianity, and then I realized one day I had a conversation with a friend of mine, shoutouts to you. We talked about whether God exists or not, and we didn't really come to a conclusion there, because like I said, yeah, of course he exists, and my friend says no, he doesn't. But we kind of worked out a realistic concept of if God exists, what it would be. And we said, if God really exists, then God wouldn't be anything close to humans, right? Because humans are imperfect. We let our emotions control us. We do bad things. We're envious. We're greedy. We have hatred and stuff. And he said that if we think about God, if we think about a divine power, that this power doesn't have the same faults that humans do, and therefore this power, it's not personalized, okay? Like, I think way too many people speak of God actually as a father, as a person, okay? I think way too many people actually imagine that God is something like these Greek gods, okay? That they look like normal humans, but they just have divine powers, and I think that's not it. I think that we can't describe it. Like, for me, when I say God, I would mean the universe, okay? And that's what I fundamentally believe in. I believe in the universe. I do not necessarily believe in God, and I think that this divine power, as I said, this divine being, it wouldn't care about if we worship it or not, okay? Like, I don't think that this power would actually like spend its time in order to like check if we're going to church on Sundays and if we live virtuous lives, alright? And I think that it's basically God in the universe. It's the creator of all things, right? It's the mother, if you want, the mother of existence. And I don't want to go too deep into this, into like my beliefs on the universe and stuff, but I just think that God is like, thinking of God as a personalized being doesn't make sense to me, alright? And carrying over to that, I want to speak about what I think about the Bible and what I think about, like the beliefs of the Bible and Jesus Christ and that kind of stuff. And I think that the Bible has its flaws, definitely, because sometimes it says horrible things, right? Like sometimes like the Bible, God tells these people to commit genocide or something, right? And to just do horrible things. Like, I think there's like one part in the Bible where he tells one guy to kill his own son, and I mean, like, when you know the full context of the story, it makes sense because he wants to test his faith, but still, like, telling someone who believes in you, who worships you, to kill his own son is kind of weird, right? And so I think not everything that is said in the Bible is true, and I don't think we should just blindly follow it. But for me, the Bible is more like, it's more like a philosophy, okay? There are different stories in there that help you with your everyday life, and that's something why I think that we need more religion, because I think what religion really brings is faith, okay? And I think faith is so important. It's like, we need faith in our lives. It doesn't matter if we have faith in God, the universe, in life, in destiny. I don't know if we have faith in like waking up next Monday, okay? It's just, we need to have faith in something. We need to be faithful. And so I think that's what religion is really about, okay? Having a relentless faith, having a faith where you have no fear, like almost like a fearless faith, if you want. And yeah, that's what I basically believe, that's the main premise of religion, is that you have faith, okay? That you just believe in better times, that you believe that it will get better, that in bad times you believe, you have the faith that it will get better, and in good times you have faith that it will stay that way, okay? And I think that's really important, and a lot of people, they lost faith, and I think it's really sad to see, because I think a lot of depression and nihilism and that stuff stems from not having faith. And like, it doesn't matter if you are like an atheist or something. I think if you don't have faith, your life isn't nearly as good, right? Because if you don't believe in anything, if you just think like you die and then there's nothing, or like you're in a bad situation, that's just how life is supposed to be, like, I can't understand why people would actually want to believe in stuff like that, because for me that sounds like horrible, okay? For me, I wouldn't want to live a life that way. I would always want to believe that I can change my destiny, that I can change the situation I'm in. And so I think faith is really important. It's just, right, in the worst times, there's often times the stuff that people, they turn to God again, okay? Like, they're down bad, like they've lost everything in life, and before they kill themselves, they find to God, they find the faith again, okay? They start believing again. I think that's so important. Like, faith is so important for moving on with your life. And I know I kind of went off topic there, because I actually wanted to talk about the Bible, but kind of to lay the brick, to lay the groundstone of this, because I think that many stories in the Bible, they're exactly about having faith, okay? And they teach you how to have faith in different situations. And there's a YouTuber, he's called Elijah Long. Shout out to him if you should ever see this video. And this guy, he explained the story of Jonah and the whale, right? And like, when he gets swallowed by a giant fish, and he's in the belly of the fish for like 3 days or something, and he kind of like, in one of his videos, he explained kind of like metaphorically that this story translates over into your life. He kind of says that sometimes there are things in your life that you don't want to do, and like, God tells this guy, like, I think Jonah is his name, right? He tells Jonah to go to another city and like tell them to be more faithful and to be more virtuous again, because they have lost all virtue. They basically don't do the stuff that the Bible says you should do, that the Bible prohibits. They do all of that, and Jonah doesn't want to, right? And he tries to escape it, so he goes on this boat. He tries to get as far away from the city as possible, and while they're on sea, there's like a huge thunderstorm and stuff, and he says, alright, like, I think it's because of me, God is like haunting me, or God doesn't like it. So he says, like, throw me overboard. And like they throw him overboard, and immediately like the thunderstorm stops, and then, as I said, he gets swallowed by a giant fish. And like Elijah explained it that way, that then that's like kind of like the deepest moments, the darkest moments, when you're in the belly of the whale, okay, when it's dark, like it's like just physically it's a dark place, right? And when you're mentally in a dark place because you don't want to do it, and then he prays to God, okay, and he finds the faith to believe in again, and to believe in his destiny, his journey. And so I think that's really important. And like then the whale spits him out, and he goes there and he follows his journey. And I think like the Bible has a lot of different stories like this that just believe you to a faith. And as I said, like this story, you can just use it as a metaphor for your life, right? Sometimes you don't want to do stuff, and while you try to escape your destiny, you actually just end on the path to it, right? There's like this quote from Kung Fu Panda where Master Uwe says, one often meets his destiny on the road he tries to avoid it. And like when you're in the darkest place, you start believing again, and you actually follow your destiny, you follow your purpose. So I think that's what the Bible is actually good for. If you find these stories and you study them and you find hope in them in the darkest times. There's also this one story, I don't know the name of him, but it's like kind of like he's in a lion's den, okay, like, which is very dangerous, right? Because the lion will just eat him once he finds him there. And this guy, he finds faith again, okay? He finds trust in God, and yeah, he starts believing again, and he trusts in God in this hopeless moment, okay? It seems like it's hopeless, but he still finds hope, he still believes in God. And I think that's beautiful. It's stories like this. Like I follow a page on Instagram that's kind of called Trust God Bro, I think, and there was one quote that said, if this guy can trust God in the lion's den, then you can trust God with everything else. And as I said, I do not necessarily mean that God exists or something, but just having faith in these moments, okay, like whether God exists or not, but just having faith if you're in situations where it seems hopeless, where it seems like your life is going to crumble, where you're in a dark place, you find the faith again. I think that's what religion should be about, okay? I think that's what is important about religion, what we have lost, right? We have lost the faith, and we kind of have this nihilistic view, especially in my Generation Z, okay, that life is just supposed to suck, life is just supposed to be bad, to get worse, okay? Like a lot of people, they're depressed at a young age. Like I know people my age that have already been through depression, and like really serious depression, and I think like they lost the faith, right? They don't have it anymore, and I think religion would actually help them in this way. And just the last point I want to make about this year is that I think that religion also, it has a social and a spiritual aspect, alright? Like when people go to church, okay, when people are active in their communities, when people pray together, I think that's something beautiful, okay? When you make a spiritual connection with someone else, okay? When you sit down with a friend or with someone who's doing, like, who's really down bad, okay? Who's in a bad spot in his life, and you say, okay, let's pray together. Let's pray that you're gonna be better, and you will speak a prayer together, and okay, you both believe in that, you have the faith in that. I think that's beautiful, okay? I think you make a spiritual connection with that, and like going to church every Sunday and being active in your community, being active in your church group and sending your children there, I think that's actually something that will benefit your life beyond religion, okay? Because as I said, you have this community again, you have this sense of being together, and I think, as I said, all these points, I think that's what's good about religion and what's important about religion, and I think that we've neglected that. So I think that we need more sense of community, more sense of coming together, of making a spiritual connection, okay, of believing together and having faith and being grateful, right? That's another point about Christianity and a lot of religions, like having the faith and like loving the person next to you, right? Altruism and that stuff. And just, as I said, just being grateful, just loving other people, just being a good person, basically being a virtuous person. And I think these are really some of the things we have lost. And I think if we would kind of transform religion, if we would revolutionize religion and get these points back into our lives, having the faith, following a philosophy where you see that in the darkest moments you can keep the faith, you can believe in something higher than you, and it will be okay. What else did I say in this video? Of having a sense of community, of being together, alright, and of being faithful, of being grateful for the stuff you already have, okay? Like, I think it's beautiful when you pray before you eat, when you thank God, when you thank the universe for this food that you're about to receive, this food that you're about to eat, that's gonna nourish you and your family. I think that's beautiful, this gratitude, and also, like this loving the person next to you, okay? Like just having this deep love for all the people on this earth, even if they have done bad things, okay? Saying, it's okay, I'm still there for you, I love you like Jesus Christ would love you. I think that's what religion is about. As I said, it's not about believing in God, it's about following a set, like some principles, some philosophy in life. And like, I think this philosophy, you can kind of find it in the Bible, as I said, or like in other religions. I just use like the Christ religion here because it's the one I'm closest to. But I think that's really what we need more in our community, and I think if we can get that back, I think our world will be a better place, and I think life would be a lot better for a lot of people if they would have more sense of community, more sense of being together, more sense of faith and of gratitude. And so yeah, I think that's really something we would need in our lives, and I think you can get in your life without religion, by just following these principles, okay, but just trying to be a good human and being grateful for the stuff you have, trying to love the person next to you as you love yourself, by having faith in whatever you choose to believe in, okay? So that was basically the message of my video. Like, this was basically what I wanted to talk in this Friday's talk, and I appreciate you so much for watching. Write down your beliefs, what you think about this topic, and I see you in the next video.